On this inaugural episode of our coverage of season 20 of Real Housewives of Orange County, 20 years.
20 years of these trashy OGs right here.
Yes, 20 years. Vicky's love tank is finally full. And Heather spends...
I've heard that before, but okay.
Heather spends a mere $75,000 for a Valentine's Day party. And everyone is in one era or another. They're in their engaged era. They're in their happy era. They're in their unbothered era. So we are catching up with these ladies, kind of see who's here, and then stick around to the end because we are going to take a quick look back into 2006, into season 1, because yes, we did watch episode 1 of season 20, and we also watched episode 1 of season 1. And if you are looking for a bit-by-bit recap, this is probably not the show that is going to do that. Watch What Crappens does a really good job. There's a million gazillion podcasts that do that, but we're not going to really go like bit by bit by bit. But as I say that, I did not write down what the title of this episode is because we got an early version of it. We didn't get the title, so I am not really sure. So you guys will have to let me know. But it starts out with flashbacks. And, you know, when me and Nolan were talking the other day, you know, she was like, wait, why are y'all doing OC instead of doing Rhode Island? Rhode Island is so new and all this kind of stuff. And I said, well, Nolan, this is really vintage. It's 20 years. I was like, think about what you were doing in 2006. And this asshole said, I was in second grade. I was like, get the fuck out of here. What were you doing in 2006, Emily?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Let's see. Dating my now ex-husband.
Okay. Where were you living?
We got engaged in 2007. I was living in Auburn, Alabama. We started dating in 2006, got engaged in 2007, married in 2008. So yeah, that's where I was in life.
You were in your married era. You were in your engaged era.
I had in fact moved back from, actually 2006, I was in Birmingham the first half of the year and then moved to Auburn at the end of the year. So, because I had moved back from New York like the end of 2004, I think.
Nolan was, in fact, in third grade. I had just graduated undergrad. It took me a little bit longer. So when I had just found like my very first big girl job, I worked at a bank. It was called Synovus. I was a planning specialist. It was the worst job I ever had in my entire life. I hated it so much. It was very corporate, and they were disdainful of what I wore, what I sounded like, the way I hated it so much. And then I had also just started dating like a new old guy. His name was Jason, and we wound up being the best of friends ever. And he is, you know, like
your oldest child.
Well, he turned in to be that way, but he is one of my oldest friends. We also went to elementary school together. So 20 years is a long time. And this particular season sees Vicky Gumbelson come back. And what do you make?
It is 64. Okay. Because I had to go.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. I was wondering.
Yeah, these are facts. So 20th season, Vicky is 64. She is still woohooing it up.
Yes, she is.
Falling. Okay, we get a fall from her the first 2 minutes of footage. And okay, bravo. I told you last week we were going to break up, but now I'm rethinking it. Okay?
Yeah, I mean, in her defense, I think most of that fall was Shannon. I think Shannon kind of pulled her down, but
it's much to make Vicky fall.
Yeah, so. I mean, and also like Vicky has taken her woohoo-ness to a whole nother level. She owns a condo in Puerto Vallarta now,
and is trying
on delays. Emily. That was the word I was trying to find last night, y'all. We were talking in the city coverage, and I could not think of it.
I couldn't remember it either. Yeah.
On delays. Yes. And so she's got this new apartment and a new boyfriend named Michael. Do you think that you could date somebody who had the same name as one of your children?
100% no. Okay.
Yeah.
You can actually, I have specific memories of like when I first got divorced, somehow matching with someone on like one of the dating apps or something. Who I think maybe had put a nickname or something on there, and then he was like, "Yeah, my name is Mitchell," and I was like, "I'm sorry."
Nope. Immediately unfollow. Yeah.
My child's name. No, absolutely.
I couldn't do it either, but Vicky seems to okay because this guy, they've been together, did she say 4 years?
Who knows?
I don't know. But like I said at the top, her love tank is full and they go between Coto, La Quinta, and Puerto Vallarta. So I imagine he lives in La Quinta. Yeah.
Speaking of Michael's, Vicky's son, Michael, who we remember from the first episode as this, like, you know, kind of troubled, like, teenager mom, you know, kind of thing, is 40 years old.
There's a lot of that going around. As I was doing the math on all the children, Shane Keogh is also in and around 40 years old.
Yeah.
Because he was 18. Yeah. So
yeah.
lot to process there. Vicky says, much like many other of the housewives, Tamara says the same thing, but she's more at peace now. And she has bought and is living in Mexico and doesn't know a damn lick of Spanish. Doesn't know a lick of Spanish.
Yeah. This all tracks. None of this surprises me.
Does she seem more at peace? Does she seem mellower? No. Okay. So we get her and she's calling Gino, which is Gina, not Gino. Who the fuck is Gino? She's calling Gina Keogh. I guess they maintain
from season 1.
Right. Which is a nice callback.
Former Playboy model.
Yeah.
Married to a baseball player.
Yeah. Who
the right physique. She was.
Yes.
I remember that from episode. So, okay, maybe we're just going to like throw some episode 1 as we go along. I don't know. We're go along, guys.
Notoriously, Gina left the show after a falling out between her and Tamara. So Tamara is back as well after she was back last season, but she was out 2 seasons ago. And so she's really doing this kind of apology tour. I don't know how much. Well, last season she did. And I don't know how much you follow her or follow the OC news, but she did this podcast in which she says that her psychologist or psychiatrist suggested maybe there was some autism spectrum disorder stuff happening, and that could explain some of her behavior. And she got roasted. The internet said, hold my beer, took off their gloves, and came for her neck in a way that was really brutal. And so she took a season off. And I think in that season, she did a lot of really nasty interviews. And so she's having to do a lot of healing last year and this year. So we've got Vicky and Shannon, which they're buds now, right? Like that.
On again, off again friends over the season.
Yeah. Because it's the Dos Amigos now, not the Tres Amigos, because Tamara is on the outs with Shannon.
Yeah. And so now, so Vicky's 64, Shannon is 62, Tamara is 58. So girls, in case you think that shit ever ends, like apparently no. Apparently, if you're in that group, apparently it never ends. That like there is we're on again, off again friends.
Well, you know, it really depends on who you choose to hang out with. But what do you make of one Miss Tamara's plastic surgery? I cannot tell if it's good or bad.
Her eyes are the only thing that moves. So I don't know. I mean,
and there's a tan. I don't know if it is a self tanner.
Were done well because like she was out there in like that lace camisole with obviously nothing under it, and they were sitting high and tight. So you know,
but the tan and the tightness and the shininess of it all, I can't tell if it makes her look younger or older. And once you commit to all of this work, you have to continue to commit. And so then I don't know. Does she look younger? I'm so distorted. It's distorting. Yeah.
No, none of these women actually look younger. The only woman on this show whose plastic surgery actually makes her look younger than her stated age is Heather Dubrow's mother.
Oh my God. They look like they could be sisters. Whoever did this work, like she looks so good. This woman is 82.
Yeah.
She looks like she could be 60. Like she is, she looks like she could be 45. She looks great. Now, does her inside match the outside? Not so much, but you know, it's the silent generation. We also have Heather, we just mentioned, and Heather
Now
57.
I mean, she looks good. Like,
She's
looks
too
younger
thin.
than
And I really hate to
always
talk
been
about
very thin. I mean, she's a
right.
very thin person, I think.
She is, but it is, and I believe that, you know how some women, as they age, they get thicker as they age, and some women get thinner?
Yeah,
I believe, yeah, I think Heather is the kind where she gets thinner, but like Carla walked in and she was like, oh my God, this woman is so thin. Imagine what she must look like in person. If the camera adds 10 pounds,
right.
Imagine what Heather looks. But, you know, I go back and forth with Heather because Fancy Pants is a fun gag, but sometimes it just feels a little elitist or a little exclusionary, you know, because there's those flashbacks to like, oh, and she broke the bow off my cake. And like,
yeah,
that the bit is just, I don't know. And how mad she got when Vicky suggested that she inherited her money. Like, she got mad.
Okay, so this was one of my questions. Like, so I have no money either earned or inherited.
Well, just wait it out, baby. Just wait it out. I got faith in you. It's not over yet.
You know, I mean, I work with like public education, you know.
I mean, seriously, I'm going to owe money when I die. Okay. Like I'm going to have to be just like setting up Venmo payments to everybody.
So I don't know. I just don't understand like why that was so offensive that Vicky was saying that, because she listed inheritance as one of the things. Like, she didn't inherited everything. Like, she was like, I mean, you know, from working, from their decisions, from inheritance, you know, whatever. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't know.
But,
I don't know. People who have inherited money, send us a message. Is it, you know, is that offensive? Or people who didn't inherit money, is that offensive that someone says you inherited some money? Like,
and the thing is, so it seems like it would be backward. That it seems like there's this like, and this is a really ridiculous conversation to be having in 2026 when like people are starving in the streets about like old money versus new money. But Heather gives that, right? And do you remember over the years, all of the talk about her and Terry's house? They bought it for $14 million and then they sold it for $20 million and then they bought another $40 million and they have a $30 million apartment. There's like a lot of money talk with Heather. And that is kind of my main beef with her. I find her sensibility to be the most relatable, but it is all of that money stuff that really, you know, I'm a reverse snob. You know how I am. It just really distances me from her. I don't know. What do you make of Heather?
I love Heather. I have always loved Heather. Like, I think that I do agree. She does come off a little elitist at times with some of the things that she says. However, I've always really just liked her. I always felt like she, of like any of, you know, the housewives on the OC, like she would probably be who I would choose to be like, yeah, girl, let's go get a you know, afternoon.
Yeah. And that's kind of what the rub is for me, because I think she doesn't do it on purpose. Maybe.
I mean, they have been married for 30 years now or something. I mean, like a very long time. I mean, it's not just in the spotlight or in like a, you know, Southern California, you know, whatever area. That is a long time that they have been married. They've raised 4 children just about. I think her youngest is like maybe in high school or something.
Yeah, Ace. Yeah. And to that point, one of her children, I think, is identified as non-binary or some kind of has come out as some kind of queer. And so Heather does a lot of work with that particular community in that way. So I don't have to worry about where Heather was on January 6th.
Right. Yeah.
That draws me to her. Now, these other women,
there's some question marks there.
There's some question marks there. But yeah.
She can be a bit much at times. There have been things over the years that definitely have been like, oh, okay, calm down a little bit there. But, you know, I don't have a problem.
Yeah. And so that leads me to Jen, because Jen has picked a fight with Heather and she is going to regret that this entire season. Like, she does not know the smoke that she's about to get from Heather, but Jen is fairly new. This is her 3rd or 4th season. She has the boys. She's the one whose son got a 105-mile-an-hour ticket, which I, as a person, you know, who had a teenager, that does sound terrifying to me.
Yes, absolutely.
But Jen is also another one that I have a hard time figuring out. What is Jen's personality?
Too soon to say.
We've seen her 4 seasons.
I watched The Real Housewives of OC the first season religiously, maybe the second and third seasons, and then I really dropped off, and I'd catch an episode here or there, or kind of just see some online chatter. So like season 20, this is the first time I've picked it back up. So I do not know her, so too early for me to make any judgment.
So there is some lore around Jen that I don't know how relevant it is, but her fiance, there was some rumors that he was involved in some very nefarious money stuff. I do believe she was evicted from a house for non-payment. There is a pending custody or alimony or support situation from her ex. And so she is kind of painted as sort of the ditzy, I don't know anything about the world archetype here, that, because like, she mentions it when she talks about when Emily, which all through my notes, I spelled it Emilie. Like, I can't even do it. Like, no other spelling exists for me now. But she says that her and Emily have struck up an interesting friendship because Emily knows so much and she doesn't really know anything, in which we'll see about that. But yeah, TBD on Jen.
Yeah.
But her and Tamara are in a good place. There was some bad blood, especially around the husband or her fiance's money dealings. I think Tamara involved herself in that, said some things on camera that were not cool. Okay. So there was some beef around that. Emily, on the other hand, is one of the fan favorites. Yeah, she's one of the two brunettes on this show. People love Emily. She has slimmed down quite a bit. She has always grappled with her size. And when I say that this woman is grappling with her size as being the quote bigger, she's very slim now. But I'm saying like she was a 6 when everybody else was a 0. Like that's what I'm saying when she's like
Okay, and also like this to me was an interesting point that I wanted to like ask you about. So at this party that Heather throws, I feel like it was Tamara who says it, but but one of them walks up and to Emily and is like, oh my God, you've lost so much weight. You're just like, look how thin you are.
She said, where's the rest of you?
Where's the rest? Yeah, exactly. Like, that did not feel complimentary to me. That felt like, first of all, I mean,
you nailed it.
I feel like we had done a lot to move past weight, like women's weight in particular, as being like, having any type of value. And I felt like we were moving past it. And then, fucking Wegovy and Ozempic just brought it right back into the mainstream conversation about like, because everybody just got so super, super, super thin, so fast. Like people who didn't even need to get thinner were like, yeah, make me skinny, skinny, skinny.
And it became like a status symbol as well. People who could afford it. Yeah.
I don't know. I struggle with like figuring out how I feel about this situation, because as someone who I have been, 30 pounds lighter than I am right now, I have been 30 pounds heavier than I am right now. Okay. Like, I mean, my weight has varied on the spectrum due to, pregnancies, happiness, depression, hormonal imbalances, thyroid issues, like you name it, I've probably like dealt with it. So like, and I understand that when you are like working hard, which she shows all these like gym, videos and stuff. So, well, is that for the camera? Who knows? But like, so when you are working hard to get healthy, it is nice to get a little recognition that like, your hard work is paying off, I guess. But like the way that it was stated felt so backhanded compliment to me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you were such a fatty before, and now you're a good person because you're thin. Is how it felt.
The way Emily has been really open about her struggles with weight. Like there was a scene it's a few seasons ago in which somebody was doing a fashion show and the designer was giving all of the housewives their clothes, and Emily had to wear like the biggest size, and like what she was wearing was like the most covered up, and like she internalized that. She talks about her weight a lot, and that's the only reason why I feel comfortable talking about it, because I'm not diagnosing her, but I do perceive that she has a little bit of dysmorphia about what she looks like in the mirror. And I believe it's because this culture in the OC, this bubble of the OC, it really reinforces that. And like, because she was just framed bigger, like I am never going to be a size 0 because my frame is just not it is. And I think Emily was like really struggling to be against all of these women like Heather or like Jen.
Right.
And for Tamara to say some shit like that to her, it didn't feel positive. It didn't feel like a supportive thing to do.
Yeah. But it did feel like a classic Tamara thing to me. Like,
Yeah.
so Tamara, you're still kind of a bitch.
I even wrote Tamara's got her dukes up this whole time, but like in a really passive way. It's like she's got her dukes up, but both of her dukes are holding flowers. And so she's like, look, I'm being nice. I'm being nice the whole way. Let's not forget, we've got two more. We got Gina and Shannon, and then we'll talk about Carmela in a minute. We get Shannon, and I don't know if this is production or if this is the Bravo wink that is happening, but they just make Shannon out to be such a clown. There's just such a slapstick silliness to her that I don't know if Shannon has kind of cultivated that persona or she is just living up to it. But this business where she's falling in the sand and she has to put her dress on in the parking lot and she's got these two idiot dogs that tear up everything. It's not a flattering portrayal in my brain, in my mind.
Really not. I don't know. Yeah. So she has been on the show and off the show over the years. She was not original season.
Right. I think she came in fairly early. She's been there about 10 years, I believe.
Early. Yeah.
Yeah.
Midway.
I'll look it up too. But like once she came.
That there was like a lot of like, I think she had a pretty big fall from grace where like they were having to rent a house for a while. And then now ex-husband like ran up a whole bunch of like, wasn't there something like they owed like $200,000 worth of rent or something like that.
That wasn't her. That was the lady with the cuffs. Shannon got a DUI with her dog in the front seat.
Not the dog.
Yeah. So people got mad. So like, so her and her boyfriend were fighting. She loaded the dog up in the front seat, went to his house, was drunk. I think she wound up like jumping the curb and hitting somebody's house. Like it was a huge deal. And she was arrested and Archie was like taken into custody. And so the season following that, the season kind of leading up and like following that, her entire storyline was you are a drunk mess. And Tamara led the charge on that. Anytime there would be any kind of altercation, Tamara would be like, well, yeah, that's why you're a drunk and alcoholic. That's why you need to put the drinks down, Shannon. And like, it was really dark. It got really dark. And I think I dipped out. Shannon came in 2014 is what I just saw. So I dipped out of that because I don't need to see anybody be taken down in that way. Like it just was really gross.
Yeah.
And like I'll watch some shit. Okay, Emily.
I'm well
but it just got really bad.
Drag me down with you to watch this.
Yeah, girl. Don't be looking from your up there. You are down here in the ditch with me now. Okay, we are both rolling around in it. This one, as she says, is because we were talking about Vanderpump Rules, which Emily joined us next week for the Summer House Vanderpump Rules crossover.
Real trash situation.
And Emily's like, "Hey, have y'all seen the episode of blah blah blah?" And Jeff and I were like, "No," because this bitch has watched ahead because she likes it and wants to act like she doesn't, but she does. She loves it.
I fucking hate it. And I love it. And I hate so much that you made me watch that stupid shit. And I'm so.
She says made me, but like she's ahead of us now.
I mean, I lost entire days of my life because I was like, I'm just going to watch this one episode Sunday told me we were going to talk about. And then 9 hours later, I'm like, Jesus, get outside.
Emily,
the sunlight.
As is God's plan. Okay. This is what he intended for our lives right now. But so Shannon is always trying to beat the rap of being this like ditzy, silly idiot. And her children are away, which also sort of deepens the sadness a little bit because, you know, they're in Paris. I think one's in Paris, one's in like Copenhagen. Like they're very, very far away.
Yes. Yeah.
And the boyfriend that she had, this story is really going to break your heart. I don't even know if I should tell you. The boyfriend that she had broke up with her, sued her for money he says he loaned her, and then took up with another housewife and got engaged and married her, who was on the show. I don't know if you remember Jesus Jugs, Alexis Bellino, but
the former Mormon?
Yeah, I think she was just super Christian. I don't know if she was Mormon. Maybe she was. I don't know. Maybe. But Mormon may have been a thing for sure.
She was very hardcore Jesus.
Yeah. Tamara called her Jesus Jugs.
Yeah.
Tamara's man broke up with her. I mean, Shannon's man broke up with her, sued her for money that he loaned her, and then promptly took up with her castmate and then married her. So humiliation is just Shannon's story. And I don't know how much I can get on board with it.
Right there.
Thanks, Kenny. The only thing Kenny from In the City ever gave us. That's a real.
Every time we say niche move.
That's a niche move right there. Niche choice, Shannon. But so I don't know. My pitiful, like Shannon's pitifulness meter is, I just don't know if I'm able to watch. I might have to just like look away every time she's on. Yeah. And then Gina, I wanted to check in with you about Gina walking around with a big old fake ring.
Who just got engaged. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He custom made it, and this is just a prototype.
I didn't get it.
I was going to like it. My favorite part, though, was Heather just clocking it like, that ring was too colorful.
Yeah. She's like, I caught some rainbow. I'm not doing it.
Diamonds cast off white light. That was too colorful. That's not a diamond.
Yeah, I can leave it to Heather. Like Heather knows champagne and Heather knows diamonds. You ain't gonna fool Heather.
I mean, I will say, not proposing to a grown ass woman who has like their own like taste and whatnot with a fully designed diamond ring that you've already paid for is smart. Okay. Like, because I have an opinion, and if you
are
1,000% sure, I can understand not wanting to, like whatever, but like maybe before you go running around town, like flashing, 6 carats or whatever, decide that that's what you want and go ahead and get like the real ring made, if that's the thing. Like, or just cop to it and be like, man, moissanite, it's the way to go. It's value diamond.
Yeah, and maybe that's what she was trying to do by saying, it's fake, or maybe she knew Heather would like out her, but
I don't know.
Gina's another one where I kind of go back and forth. She is kind of the everyman archetype. She's from the East Coast. I think she's from like Jersey or like New York State. She didn't grow up with money. She doesn't have as much money as these folks. And so she's sort of like, she's positioned as, okay, Gina is the relatable one. So like if Heather is the aspiration, Gina is the relatable.
Okay, so Gina and her fiance, they have like the real estate group thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is giving real Mauricio vibes from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Like, cause his is the agency and this is the blah, blah, blah group. Like, I was like, I see what you're trying to do here, Travis.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got, I'm just going to clock their ages real quick.
Okay. Yeah. Give me.
Okay. So like we've got Vicky, who's 64. Shannon is 62. Tamara is 58. Heather is 57. Emily is 50. Gina is 42. And Jen is in her 40s. That's really and then we've also got Carmela, which I did not clock her originally as being like a true castmate, but if you Google, she is, and she's 41.
Okay, so I think that she's new.
Yeah, she's new, and we get just a little bit of her like at the party. So
how old is Gina again?
Gina is 42, according to the internet.
And that feels young.
Right. And the only reason that like I found this like interesting was because I was kind of like comparing it to like season 1 where like Jenna Keough was 50. Vicky was 44 at the time. Lori, remember Lori from season 1 was 45. Kimberly from that season was 39. And then Joe, bless her heart, was 24.
Joe makes a recurring role. Not last season. I don't know. She popped up.
It's upcoming. It's going to be, I feel like that was at like the end of of like later this season kind of thing. So I'll be interested to see Joe pop back up.
She made a few appearances. I don't know if it was last season or season before. All of my OC scholars, y'all come at me to help me fill in the blanks here because I haven't done a whole lot. But because Slade, Joe's fiance, married Gretchen. And they were on
2 or 3 intro, I think.
Yeah. And then she came back for like seasons 18, like 17 or 18 or 18 and 19. But not Joe. Joe came back for 18.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know. It's all running together for me right here. But I think Gretchen was asked to leave because there was some questionable social media activity that was maybe perceived as homophobic or bigoted. And if I had to guess, I think it was Heather Dubrow that was like, listen, it's me or this bitch. Like, I'm not doing it. And
Well,
I think Bravo chose Heather.
Gretchen was one big red flag from the moment she stepped on screen.
Yes.
I would be very interested to know, like, what type of political signs she had.
You don't need to know. You know.
I mean,
know.
I have my guesses,
That was part of it.
I could also guess we had some real different reactions, me and her, back in January a few years ago, but that's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I think that truthfully, Emily, I don't even think that she's been really secretive about it. I think that she's been fairly out. And so when all of her social media activity started to come out, then her and Heather started to clash on the show because she was like retweeting or liking some homophobic stuff. And Heather's like, absolutely not. And then poof, lo and behold, she is not turning up for new season. So
gotcha. Yeah. Interesting with like the ages because I can remember.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because I'm 20 years older than that first season.
God, we were 26 when this show came out. We were closer in age to these folks' children than we are to them.
Right. And I can just remember at the time feeling like, and God, don't strike me down, and I'm so sorry, and everyone, please give me forgiveness. Like, I can remember feeling like Lori was, like, on season 1 was, like, so pretty, but also I was like, God, but she is, like, she's so old, kind of, like, because I just remember her being out, like, in the club, like, dancing. She was, like, like, and because they all wore that, like, whatever the hell.
There's a name for it. There is. Yes, there it is.
These, like, really specific. This one designer did these tops that were like halters. They were like bedazzled. It was a real specific look that they wore the shit out of like those shirts. And I was being like, oh my God, look at her, like, out here taking shots and like whatever and stuff. And now I'm like, damn, she's younger there than I am now.
Yeah.
And now I'm just thinking, well, damn, Lori, I'm actually impressed because I am definitely not out in the club taking the shots. Like,
well, she is recently divorced, and we all know what happens. Sky tops. That's what they're called. They're called sky tops. I knew it. Where there's like a round and it has like some big medallion in the middle. Yeah.
Yes. But then, wait, so is Lori divorced again or back then?
We don't see Laurie again. So we see Laurie in these first ones, and in season 1, she's recently divorced.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She popped up in a later season for like a brief cameo kind of situation.
Yeah, but I think she found her like a super rich man.
Yeah, she married like a legit billionaire. And basically was like, he doesn't want me participating in this. And
good for you, girl.
I cannot even imagine why. Why?
Good.
Why?
Yeah, good for you, girl. But yeah, Laurie.
That though, to look at like their ages.
It is really disconnecting, and especially to see when we're watching episode 1 right after I watch episode 20 and just sort of like see the difference in them. So like I think that we've talked mostly about, let's talk about really quickly before we move into season 1, episode 1. Let's talk about Carmela. Carmela ain't gonna mix real good. She's Cleveland.
She's a former Playboy playmate.
Yeah, she also is like she's not being a good sport about like quote kissing the ring for Vicky. Obviously, you've not seen this show. That is a bit that they do every season.
Right.
And, yes, is Vicky insufferable about her participation in starting the franchise? Yes, she is. But it's a bit. Play along. She is your elder, ma'am. She is your elder.
The Real Housewives of the OC is the OG of the entire franchise.
Yes.
Vicky, love her, hate her, whatever, she really is the OG. So she is the only one, right? Like
So I have a little bit of history because, Sunday, I forgot to say it, but I am the pop culture professor. Hi, I'm Sunday, y'all.
Probably, to my mind, if you say Real Housewives, Vicky pops to my mind.
Well, so I'll tell you. So Hi, pop culture professor Sundays. This is Emily. 35 minutes in, here we are.
Oh, yeah.
No, we did not. We went straight for it. So this show, what we watched, season 1, episode 1, was not a pilot for, quote, Real Housewives of Orange County.
Right.
It was
a standalone show.
Yes, it was conceived as it was conceived at the pilot before the rest of the episodes were even shot. The pilot was conceived as like a documentary style satire. Think like Curb Your Enthusiasm meets Desperate Housewives. And it was going to be called Behind the Gates. If you notice in Lori's interview, a lot. And so Vicky was absolutely Vicky and Gina were absolutely responsible for cultivating this idea with the producer. His name is Scott Dunlop, and Vicky and Gina were present almost at its inception. So when she says she started this franchise, she absolutely did. And Behind the Gates, I don't know what year was Desperate Housewives. I think
similar. I think.
Yeah, I think it was in and around the same way. And so instead of leaning towards like making fun of these women and leaning towards a kind of like doing how out of touch they are, they leaned into let's look at who they really are. Let's look at what their lives are really like. And
was the first.
Yeah. So when Desperate Housewives became this really popular contribution. Yeah. So when Vicky says she started, she did. We have every housewife franchise, the hundreds of them across the world in every city because of Vicky Gunvalson. Is she insufferable about it? Absolutely she is. She is.
You know what? I would kiss the ring too.
Like I would too, because it's a bit.
I would be like, thank you. You have provided hours and hours of trash television inspiration, but also entertainment. Let me ask you a question since you are the professor here. Maybe you know.
Well, yeah, I teach the history. I taught the history of reality TV for a little while too. So
okay, the first few seasons, and I think it went on for a while, and I remember it from the spinoffs from like the other franchises of Real Housewives. You know, they always had like these like taglines, you know, like I just remember Real Housewives of Dallas. There was this one that I just like found so hilarious that she was like, I'm not a trophy wife. I'm a lifetime achievement award.
Cute.
When did they stop doing that? Because I didn't see that on that. Or did we just not see that?
No.
Watching a Bravo Let Us Have a.
So what they started doing after a while is they wouldn't debut them on the very first episode. They make us wait. And so they will release, what they'll do is after probably 2 or 3 episodes air, they'll do a press release and like, or they do a social media announcement. Oh, the taglines have been announced, just like they do with reunion outfits. So stay tuned. We definitely will get it. But you are right in that way. We may not get to see them because of the cut that we get. So we are going to have to keep our eyes keen to social media like we don't already. But
okay, all right.
But yeah, and so if I had to guess, Vicky's is going to be something about being like the OG, whatever. Tamara's is going to be something about healing because she's decided that whenever confrontation happens, she's just going to walk away. And I thought about you during this party. Yes. Whatever Jen told on Heather, she was like, yeah, Heather says that she really just has to compartmentalize you and, you know,
you're not around, she puts you in a box kind of thing.
Put you in a box. That's exactly what it was. This is It's Murky. Kenny's It's Murky from In the City. This in the box comment is going to haunt Jen to her grave. She is going to wish she's never seen a box, never knew what a box was, because Heather Dubrow is not going to have this shit. She's going to come for her. And I bet you Heather or somebody's tagline is going to have something to do with the box. Ooh. I bet. And Shannon's is going to have something to do with her dogs, hands down, because Sad Dog Lady is just her brand now. It used to be quirky 9 lemons in a bowl lady.
Yeah.
No, not so much anymore. What do you make of Heather's party? This party looks dope as fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know.
Girl, It had a merch bar. It had a tattoo booth. It had fishing for diamonds. There was a photo thing that you could do. It had a perfume station, an ice luge that Carmela calls an ice lube.
Yeah, well, that tracks.
You can't win them all.
In Carmela's words, she says it was giving off very Playboy Mansion, early 2000s kind of vibe. And I was
Danger.
Like, yeah, girl, I can see that.
Danger, Carmela.
I mean, she literally was like, I expected like Ron Jeremy to like pop out from like,
cannot believe.
And I was like, damn,
I mean,
blast from the past.
I was going to say, if I had a bingo card, I wouldn't put Ron Jeremy on my Orange County one.
It was not on mine, but thanks for putting that out.
But I think I'm going to like Carmela. Huh?
What the fuck was Tamara wearing? What is this dress? I didn't understand.
With the over-the-shoulder cardigan situation?
It was like a slutty little Orphan Annie situation or something.
Oh my God, it did look like Orphan. Hold on, let me write down slutty Orphan Annie. You know I take notes to put on social media whenever you say funny stuff. Slutty Orphan Annie is going in the books.
I did not understand it at all.
You know, I don't know. This might be some homework that we should do, but there is a website, probably several, that we hunt down. You can hunt down their dresses and how much they cost and like where to find dupes. I wonder how much that slutty Orphan Annie dress cost. I bet it was more than
OC season 20 outfits. Now it's going to pop up in my Instagram because we mentioned one thing about in the city, and now I get like some account pops up,
girl,
like with their look. So
I've been complaining about the cats litter box situation. And I get pooper scoopers in my ads every day. I'm like, stop listening, you weirdos. But like Tamara, later on, she had a cardigan that had like kiss prints on it. I loved that. But I can't tell. You know, we're supposed to shake off these mores about you're too old to wear something, you're too young to wear that or whatever. Tamara really rides that line. You know, like I'm not age shaming anybody, and her body is banging, but there are some things that I'm just like, girl, what?
Well,
are you in the red light district? What are you doing?
I'll tell you my take on it. She just has bad taste. I don't think she has good taste. I don't think she's ever had good taste. Like I've never thought that, like, I've never looked at her and been like, damn, that's an outfit that I would definitely like.
There's been a few times, but you know, a broken clock, you know, is right at least twice a day, you know.
That's true. So,
well, if on that website, if you find that cardigan with the kiss, send it to me.
Yeah. In general, the Real Housewives of the OC, while some of their fashion choices have been memorable, aka, what was it? Sky tops?
Oh yes, sky tops. Yeah.
I mean, that was memorable, but not necessarily like good, you know. I mean, it was just a trend. It was just a thing that they did. So, you know, the OC, to me, these housewives are their brand is very much logo,
yeah,
money. I mean, like Vicky's even wearing like a Gucci print bathing suit in Mexico, like Gucci logo. And while I do love a good logo moment, I definitely am a Gucci girl. Love some Gucci.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't love a logo.
Like logo.
As I wear my beer T-shirt, shout out Montucky Cold Snack.
Right. Logo needs to be a little more understated for me to really jump on board with it, you know, like, and I'm not going to wear, I don't know, I'm not a logo designer bathing suit kind of person. Like, that's, I don't know. So I just feel like they're not a real tasteful group as a whole.
Save Heather. I'll exclude Heather from that.
Heather would be my one exception, although she has had some moments that were questionable too.
She likes a label too.
But when you're a size 00 and married to a plastic surgeon who probably even the tiniest little dimple of fat that you might think about getting off of your body so that you can wear every designer thing, then, you know, okay.
You know, I bet Heather is not doing that. I bet Heather's got a lot of face stuff happening, but I bet Heather is has the kind of metabolism or the kind of genetics where she's like, how can I put on weight? Do you know what I mean? Like, I think she, and I hate to talk about her body, you know what I mean? But I don't perceive that Heather is like looking in the mirror thinking, oh my God, I need to be thin. I think that is her genetics. Cause you see her mom is a very petite woman. Damn, I was going to ask a question about, before we left, what do you think when Vicky says there's no way that Terry could have gotten that rich? Boob doctors don't get that rich. And maybe she got it from her acting, her Emmys. Like, plastic surgeons can be rich, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's also not just. They have skincare, they have supplements, they have books, they have podcasts.
How many seasons of Botched?
Yes, and he used to be on The Doctors, and he did The Swan.
Right, he's got his own TV gigs. You know, she's been doing Housewives for a very long time.
Yeah,
not the whole time, but a long time. Plus,
yeah, I'd say 15 years, maybe.
Plus, she was an actress before that. And yes, in Southern California, a plastic surgeon absolutely can afford.
I mean, look around the cast like that. That paid for y'all's damn boat.
Vicky's example was, I mean, you don't get doctors don't buy $20 million houses. I know doctors in Columbus, Georgia, who can afford to buy $20 million houses.
Yeah.
So a plastic surgeon in Southern California, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was very short-sighted. It was
just, to me, that was just like Vicky trying to like, it's like one of those things where people just decide they're going to like say something and make it true. Like it was like, she was like, you know, like, and I'm like, nah, we're going to call you. I mean, Vicky, I love you.
Like Brooke's having cancer.
Yeah, I'm going to call bullshit.
Yeah. So I think that this is going to be a really family heavy season. I don't know how much I love that.
What?
A family heavy, like we're going to learn a lot of kid stuff. And I'm really worried for the folks who have really young kids. Emily's, the youngest son, grapples with, it's called PANDAS. It stands for something, but he also has disordered eating. There's like some mental health stuff. And in her defense, not the only reason, but one of the reasons that he got diagnosed is because somebody wrote in her comments that, hey, have you thought about this, because she was putting his struggles on the show. But I just really worry about involving these people in the shows.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's 13 is like, tough.
I don't know. I can't think of the exact what it stands for, PANDAS, but it's like an autoimmune disorder. Mm-hmm. It affects the brain is what happens.
Yes. And
it's like having strep throat, but instead of having like a really sore throat, your body like just sort of attacks and you can have, I think, some brain swelling and stuff.
Yes. Because she said he had a laser scan for his brain. And then also too, she said last season that there's some comorbidity with spectrum disorders and then also too with like sensory processing. So a lot of his disordered eating has to do with his sensory issues, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so whereas I really appreciate her sharing it, it just makes me feel really worried. But I think we're going to get a lot of family stuff. Emily looks like she might be headed for divorce. That might be a tease. I don't know. I kind of hope she is. I'm sorry. I love you, Emily, but Shane is insufferable. Her husband is insufferable. It looks like they go to like the Grand Canyon, to Las Vegas, to Tokyo. Carmela and Vicky are going to face off. It looks like Heather and Jen are going to be the main fight. And then Heather is going to try to reconcile with her mom, which she's 82. You might just need to throw your hands up on that one. Like it might just be out of the farm.
Yeah, right. I mean, I also have a parent who's in their 80s, and
me too. I do too. It's yeah.
Making them understand the point of view on certain things, and I just go, you know what? It's cool. Whatever. Let's
talk a little bit, just a few minutes about the season 1, episode 1.
Okay.
When you're watching it, what was the thing that hit your eyes immediately? Like you were like, oh my God, what? This is so crazy. This is so weird.
I mean, it was in low def for one thing. Like, I mean, just like the production quality, like the graininess of like, wow, that's what it looked like back then. And then also so funny. Just the difference in style in everything. Like, so Gina, like out there, like selling the houses where she's like, I mean, I sold my first house for like $1 million and then my next one for like 5 million and blah, blah. And then you see these houses and you're just sort of like, all right. I mean, it looks just like a tract house in like any like random.
And the furniture is so heavy and dark. Everything is like Baroque and
sherry cabinets and stuff everywhere. So it's just funny to me, like how, I mean, 20 years, like, in on the one hand, that is a pretty long time. But on the other hand, I didn't realize that, like, just aesthetically, we had changed so much in style. And then also the aesthetics of faces and plastic surgery.
How
and
different.
And like there was a definite, like Lori definitely had some early Botox and filler and stuff.
Yeah.
But just like there was almost like zero attention paid to below the neck.
That is a fairly new idea in beauty.
There was some definite, like, I think Botox was relatively newish,
Yeah. Because you see, they did it and she was bleeding. See how badly she was bleeding when they did it?
Yeah. And so, I mean, it was definitely being done, but it wasn't as, like, you couldn't just get it done like at your dentist like you can now,
Yeah.
But also nobody was paying attention to like their like chest and neck skin situation, their arm situation and stuff. Like there were a lot sunspots everywhere and
stuff. They look 30 from the neck up and then like 55 from the neck down.
Right. I mean, that was just like, I don't know. And I'm not making fun of them. It's funny to me how
you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, it appears,
One of the things that really, really struck me is how what we call confessionals now and how these women have these like outfits and they are just so appointed. They do them all. They have the green screen behind them. Well, they're just pulling them. They're like in the moment. They're like, hey, what do you think about your daughter moving in? Like, hey, what do you think about your mom standing over you at prom? Like it was so in the moment and there was zero production interference in that way. I mean, in terms of like guiding the questions and stuff, but like they were in it and it was a much more sort of like documentary situation.
I miss that.
Yeah, I do too.
It was like the introduction of this like basically like show and this style of show. And I have to say, I kind of miss it. It's a little, particularly when you think about comparing it to like we've been complaining about in the city, that it's just, it's like too and it's too managed, no spontaneity. Whereas like, I think on this like season 1, episode 1, you really still got some real reactions.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure that there were some things that people said that then the, directors and producers were like, wait, say that again and let's relight it, or whatever. But like, overall, it was more, it felt like we're really actually seeing a little bit more.
And they weren't so aware of their presence on screen. Like the cringe was so palpable. Like I felt like the cringe was coming out of the TV and like had its hand around my neck. Like when Joe's in the mirror and she thinks she's performing for that camera. And it's like, girl, I can't this at all. When she wanders up to that table and it's just so bad. And it's like, I
had forgotten that was how Joe made friends with Kimberly.
Did they become good buds?
They did. They play tennis together later in the first season and at the club and stuff, and
let's wrap it up. So, so every Thursday, Emily and I are going to be covering concurrently season 20 and season 1. If you have any questions, you want to do it, let me know. And we will always, always be ready and willing to listen to what you have to say. Find us on all our social medias at Take a Pinot Pod, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
All right. Looking forward to this stroll down memory lane.
Goodbye. Love you.
Bye.